everyone. Good to see you in the new year. We can get going with the minutes from December 16th. Any questions on the minutes? Thoughts? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll motion.
Thank you. Second? I guess I could second.
Oh, I will second. Sorry, I was trying to unmute.
Right. Okay, so all in favor of approving the minutes from last time? Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. So that's approved. Okay, on to the affiliate program. So I think there were a couple of questions on this month's affiliate applications.
Yes. We did have a couple of updates from ones that we had been holding to. Do you want to do those first, or do you want to do the new ones first? Do you have a preference?
Oh, no, I mean, we can go back to the previous ones.
So the previous ones, we had held on the town of Vernon because we weren't sure who it was that was submitting that application. And it was being submitted on behalf of the town and their 250th committee. So it's all connected for town of Vernon. And then end witch hunts, we have, we've been kicking their can down the road, but we have another update from them that they're currently working with the DAR on a project connecting witch trial victims with their descendants who participated in the revolution. So they're pre-revolution. Or their work is pre-revolution, so they're connecting it to the revolution through history. They're also hosting a remembrance ceremony at the old State House in a couple of weeks. And I included the program for that on the email that I sent out last week, but they've got legislators and such participating in that. So that's not necessarily a connection to the 250th, but the first part likely is.
Right, it is.
Do we know if the DAR chapter they're working with themselves are applying to be an affiliate? If it's essentially one program, could we say the DAR chapter could apply and presumably might have more than one program rather than giving an affiliation just to this organization for one event? Just an idea.
I like that thinking a lot better. I'm still having a hard time with that tie. It feels pretty arbitrary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be difficult about it, but it feels pretty arbitrary.
Yeah. Okay, so is that Rachel or Cindy, do you guys are you guys able to reach out to that chapter?
Yeah, I don't think they shared what specific chapter they were working with, but we can get that figured out.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it would be wise to understand where the DAR sits with this. I mean, we're hearing from End Witchcraft Trials, not DAR. So if there's a direct, I mean, DAR is more of an obvious link. So it'd be nice to just clear that up.
Yep.
and invite their participation, if nothing else.
At this point, or should we just say that we're rejecting this application? Because I also feel like we've gone back to them 3 or 4 months in a row now. And I'm wondering, yeah, if we should just make the call.
I'm not seeing it, so
I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
I had my only hesitation is, are there political feathers we're going to ruffle?
I do know that there's legislative support for this, like this organization and the work that they're doing. But I also think this is something that is a justifiable reason, and we're giving them a potential alternative approach.
Yeah.
I think is the best we can do too.
And this doesn't preclude our support for their other work. It just, this tie is a little odd. It almost feels gratuitous.
Yeah. Okay, so then it sounds like we're okay with declining them as an affiliate, but going back to them to explain the reasoning and suggest that the have the DAR chapter reach out to us for them to become an affiliate if they haven't already.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm having trouble like getting into the sheet itself. So I don't know, Rachel, if you want to go through the other ones pending.
I have one screen right now, so I'm like clicking in a whole bunch of different places. Yes, so the ones that we had come through this time, Beacon Falls Historical Society. There were no red flags on that one. Then there was the Plainfield, Connecticut 250 / the Deborah Avery Putnam chapter of the CTDAR. They did respond no to one of the questions. The rest of them, they responded yes. I reached out to them and got an answer from them. Which so they're applying essentially on behalf of the Plainfield, Connecticut 250th Committee, which looks like it's largely members of the DAR chapter, but then it also has some people from the Plainfield Historical Society, Lions Club, Rotary Club, teachers, and then 4 of the town's just, I guess, general citizens. They call them general citizens. The town selectman has written support for their committee, but isn't participating themselves. And then I asked why they responded no to the question. The question they answered no to was, does your organization seek to encourage people to consider the future repercussions of today's actions? And their response to that was, they just felt the question was complicated. They didn't think it was the committee's place to be judging people's actions. I can't predict the future for our community, and therefore can't predict the repercussions of their actions. So it didn't sound like they were, against against it. They just didn't really feel like it was their place for that one. Do you want me to pause there? Because that was a question one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's like an interesting response that I wasn't expecting. I was thinking that maybe they were thinking that they were, going to be talking about very historical facts that wouldn't necessarily translate maybe to the future or something, but I don't know. What does everyone think about that response? And are we okay with um, approving a group that has responded no to one of our questions.
Didn't feel like a hard no, like they're gonna, not consider it ever, and that they have community buy-in. I mean, given that, doesn't feel like a deal breaker to me. I mean, one would hope that folks would consider their community and the future implications of what we're doing, but maybe that's too many dots to connect.
Yeah, it might also be early, something they haven't considered.
I mean, if they said something like, we're not looking to be inclusive, that would be a different issue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say based on all this, we could approve them. That would be my thought.
I mean, if they really wanted to, they could actually make that part of what they are doing too, is saying, we don't feel like it's our role to make these decisions for you or to decide, but we open it up to you for discussion and thought. You don't have to make any decisions. You just thinking, it's something to think about.
Yep.
Sorry, my past teacher experience is coming out for a second.
Okay.
Michael, Megan, thoughts, objections?
My initial reflections on just in general, um, we like the Daughters of the Revolution, generally speaking, and that may not be immediately related. I just want to say that. I can kind of get it. Some people, we haven't talked about this yet, but I'm just going to say it. We're going to have a new inauguration. I sent back in, I don't know, October, November, a video clip with the president-elect talking about America 250 in general. There's going to be movement towards celebration versus commemoration. That's a thing. So I want to be mindful of it. Other people feel the same way. They want to celebrate. So if we're going to be inclusive, celebrating is going to be on the agenda. Maybe we'll have Greenland. Maybe we'll have some other stuff by 2026, which is also exciting. So, it's the other stuff with whether or not witches float. That's another area outside of my expertise, but I think the more the merrier, generally speaking, and I also like including organizations that are have real estate here in Connecticut, not stuff from outside of Connecticut, from Colorado, from wherever. If they don't have a Connecticut zip code, then no. Those are my reflections. I hope that's helpful somehow, some way. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Oh, wait, side note, the video I sent, I think we should watch. I think we should show that to the whole group, by the way, just because it's relevant and on point, just for people to have expectation setting. There was discussion on, and I'm just using this opportunity since I'm here, on a big fair at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, and each state is going to have its own pavilion. And it looks like that's going to be a thing. So we should also be mindful of that, planning what's Connecticut's pavilion going to be like. So I think that would be important to discuss with the group, generally speaking, after we play that video. So thank you. That's all.
That's interesting. Jason, have you guys heard that?
I haven't seen the video, but I've heard the discussion about the Iowa Fair. I think what our I don't know where we land on this right now, but we can certainly mention it at the commission meeting, but we're not planning to talk about anything because the inauguration won't have happened at that point. We won't have any clear plans. So I think what we would be prepared to do is address it at the next commission meeting, or at least have it as an agenda item. Just so, I mean, we can sort of pin it, but we won't have anything concrete to respond to.
And I'll reflect one other thing. Thank you for that, Jason, and that all makes sense to me. In Connecticut, in the States, like sometimes they say, good fences make good neighbors. Some people just have the mindset to, mind their own business and things like that too. And I'm just saying that, right? We represent all folks, all people, and I'm for commemorating, I am for celebrating, I'm for all of it. But for the question at hand on the issue of just because they said no on that regarding future repercussions of today's actions, I can see how someone who's not in the circle, who doesn't deal in this type of space, might be like, that question might seem to be an outlier to them, not part of their everyday way of interacting. So that'll be my last reflection on that. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so it sounds like we are okay with approving them as an affiliate then. So the next one is, I finally was able to open this and remember my password. Roger Sherman chapter DAR, right? Or did we say that one?
There weren't any flags on that one, on the Roger Sherman chapter.
Right.
The
Okay.
other one that there were
Middlesex.
some flags potentially was the Middlesex Parish 250. They responded to no to a few of the questions.
Mhm.
And my sense is that they just were set up recently. I sent a message to them to ask, for an update, or to ask for some clarification. And the response I got back was just, our groups are in the early stages of planning. I had 24 hours notice to sign up. I haven't been able to share the value statement with everybody yet. So it kind of just felt like they weren't ready, and maybe we should give them a little bit and then check back in with them before the next meeting.
That makes sense.
Mhm. Okay, so we are approving 3 of the 4, and we'll wait on Middlesex Parish.
And I would add, I think we were okay with approving Vernon as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Are those just hidden?
Vernon was last month, and we weren't sure if they were the town itself or the 250th committee, but they were both. So.
Okay, so approving 4, declining 1, and tabling 1.
Yep. Okay. Anything else on affiliates? Nope. All right, so annual report draft. Thank you guys for putting all of that together. I thought it looked really good. I sent my feedback on our office. But otherwise, did anybody else have any questions or comments, additions?
Good work, team.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
When is our next, we're doing this monthly, right? Still, I mean, it seems like there's some tapering off, but maybe the new year sort of got in the middle of some of it. So we'll plan on doing it again in a month or so. I can't remember if it's on the calendar.
For the
think
full
so.
year. And I think the hope is that at Wednesday's meeting, we'll share the names of everybody who's come on board as an affiliate. And we're hoping that folks might be able to contribute some thoughts as to who might be missing. I know we've said that we wanted to think a little bit about who might not be represented on the list of affiliates, so hoping to have that conversation on Wednesday, and then we can work on some outreach to them and build up more in the coming month.
Sounds great.
Great. So then I guess I'll see you guys at the full commission meeting.
Sounds great.